The next one, the next slide is about the assets register. And it's really about acknowledging that, okay, we've had this wonderful opportunity. For us to go back now, we need to make sure we've got the tools, and that could be capital, tools, laptops and things like that. Someone mentioned in an earlier session, just even a PA system, because they've got large rooms to be able to engage their audience, engage their volunteers, and they're just, they've got people in there that's got hearing problems, and, it's just that the areas are quite vast. So please, can I ask that maybe we go into like KO, if you can just get into a KO or a KI area, because the things that you'll be discussing about the assets register will be something that will be significant to your arm, and it will be something, I think, if I can get someone to write those down, then I might take them back and pass them on, but we'll also be able to go around, because there might be others that'll go, yeah, they're the things that we need to. So I'm just going to give you 5 minutes to do that, if we can do that now, please. Then bring that back. But I'm going to hand it over to John now, who is going to share information about the clearance.
Hi, look, I've got to be very brief because afternoon tea is yapping, and also I want to be very encouraging so that you all go away smiling, think we've got this thing licked. All right, corrective services, you know the drift. KI, we all have to get clearances before we can go into the jail. Because of COVID, a couple of very good regions have been very, very encouraging, in as much that they have continually sent renewals to me, and we've been pushing those through. But a lot of regions have gone to sleep, so everybody's out of clearance. Now, up to around about 3 to 4 weeks ago, there was nobody in corrective services doing clearances, right? So all the clearances that I was sending in sat in a pile. Who knows where they are now? But the good news is that we have somebody else now being employed in corrective services who is a human that I can talk to and ring up and do all sorts of things. Now, they have a new system that they're trying to bed down with for Brush Farm. It still has big problems, but we're trying to work through that level. I can say to you that once you have a date for your short course, the time is to act on clearances if you haven't already started, right? The good news here is that even if you have had security clearance and you have a thing called a VIN number, V-I-N number, which you will know about because it's on your security letter, no matter how old it is, your VIN number stays the same. So if you have a VIN number and you put your security clearance through and you haven't put your security clearance in for 3 or 4 years, right? So it's a new application. That will go through pretty quickly because they already know you. That's good news. That's good news. The other good news is that every security clearance only lasts for 12 months. You know that. So that your security coordinator will be on your mettle to keep you up to date, right? So once you're in there and you're registered and you're cleared, the next challenge is just to keep cycling through every 12 months so that you stay up to date. It means that you have to do a fresh brush farm every 12 months, and you need a fresh CRI form, which is the security clearance form. Okay, the bad news. Sorry. The bad news is they're about to change the forms. and I've had notification from our newfound friend in corrective services that the CRI forms that you're currently using will be null and void by the end of October. I've gone back to them and said, right, that's good. Are you changing the other forms? Because it'd be great if we could notify everybody with the same degree of updated forms. So hopefully I'll have an answer to that next week. So I will be talking to all our security coordinators within the region with a new set of forms, hopefully. They won't come into force until the end of October. Right, so all the forms that you're currently using are okay. So if you're doing security clearances and da-da-da-diddly-dee, and you date it, da-diddly-dee, send it in and I'll send it through, that's great, you're in. Okay, but after October, the forms change. Bad news, bad news. That's the forms, bad news. The good news is that we are changing the system. Now, this was well, it was triggered by something that I've always been trying to do, but I've needed a lever to actually make it happen. And now it is, God has provided the lever, so I'm leaning on it, so is he. So what is happening is you'll be aware that Brush Farm is a new system and they actually send out their invitations directly to the individual, right? So you currently put your forms in through your security coordinator, they send them to me, I send them out to corrective services. It used to be that I would get the invitation back which I could send to you. That means that I know that you've received an invitation that I can chase up either you or corrective services when it doesn't happen. The bad news is on their new system is they go directly to you. The invitations go directly to the individual. They don't go to me. The bad news there is that there are two systems at the moment. So some little human types in your email, passes the form, and another little human reads your email, types it in. They get it wrong. And this is what we found in the early stages of this new system, that they would be sending invitations out to the wrong email. Now, it could bounce, and if it did bounce, they would send me a help. What are we going to do about this? And I'd say, well, you got the wrong email. I'll send it out, right? But then the big other problem is that they send it out to a real email and somebody ends up in their inbox with an invitation to do Brush Farm. They wouldn't know anything about it. So we would never know that until the volunteer says to us, well, I've never received an invitation, right? So then we can go back. I've been talking to corrective services and saying we've got to have a better system. So has Prison Fellowship. Everybody's affected by this, right? And we all say that this is a real flaw in it. They're trying to get it fixed. However, things are happening as much as you eventually do your Brush Farm. You send me a copy of the certificate. That is my record that you've done it. Their system automatically, and you have to send a copy of your certificate now to corrective services to prove that you've done it. Then your letter will be drafted, hopefully within 24 hours of receiving that. And they will then send you directly your security letter. Directly. Copy to me so I know that you've got it, which is great. Why can't they do that to the Brush Farm invitations? But anyway, we're working on that. But the interesting thing now is that they are willing to talk directly to the security coordinators. So I'm trying to engineer myself out of a job here, And this new system, hopefully once we get it in there, will be that your regional committees will have a security coordinator on the committee, which will do all of your renewals and new applications, send them directly to corrective services, and deal with any problems or questions that come back directly with corrective services to this human person that you can talk to. And getting rid of the middleman, me, is great, a great idea, because then you are in contact. They will, if there's a problem with security forms, what they will do is they will email the person directly. You didn't put the right reference in, or if we don't know that, and also CC the security coordinator, so you'll know what's going on as well. So it's all about communication, and so hopefully that's where it's at the moment. So things are looking brighter. Please. Well, we're going through the record database now that we've got this new person in there to find out exactly what is real and what's not real. I can resend them to him, current dated, that when you put them to me, and he will send them through on the process.
Okay, what about the ones where they've done their brush farm, it's been sent in, and we're still waiting for the...
That's another thing, that's what I'm chasing as well. Yes, it's very important if you want to keep me in the loop so that I can go back. You send me all of the information, like I've done the brush farm. Here's my certificate. I've got it there. So then, if Fred puts his hand up and say I've never received my letter, all I've got to do is to send an email with their attached certificate, and away they go. Time out. Good news, me.